Welcome to Agency Therapy. We got the crew in the building today. It's a full house today. We got the peanut gallery. What up, Tyler? There it is right there. And we got the crew today. Excited for it.
Let's go.
Wow, that was actually applicable. That was great. Nice job. Nice job, Jamie. All right. So we got Kirch in the building.
Let's go.
What's up, Kirch? In from Denver. Stoked for it. Stoked for it. Got AP.
Let's go.
A regular. And then the non-regular, Sir Ryan Stacey.
Yo.
What's up, dude? I'm really excited that you're here today. Been thinking about jumping on this podcast all week, and I was like, dude, I can't wait to just jam with Ryan for a good hour. But Ryan, if you guys don't know Ryan, he's the owner of Tridas, agency helping in the contractor niche, and has been growing exponentially over the past year or so. So excited to talk about that growth journey a little bit, but also he's from the UK, so you guys get to listen into a sexy Brit voice for the next hour. It's going to be great. Welcome to the show, man.
A little bit of Brit ASMR. No, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we're excited. We're here for Hydra Council. It's Hydra Council week. Preparation is done at this point, and now we just kind of let the chips fall where they may. But that's why Ryan's in town for Hydra Council, and then also spending a few extra days here hanging with the boys.
Hell yeah, baby. Nashville's like my second home at this point.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love how much you're here. So talk to us a little bit more about Tridas. Like what got you into the agency space in general? Like where did Tridas come from? I'm even curious about the name.
Yeah, I mean, the name was just, there's no meaning to it.
None at all.
It was just completely made up. Yeah, I mean, I like Greek mythology and all of that and mixing different words together. And yeah, just the logo came from Trident, and like every business has sales, marketing, and fulfillment. So I thought, hey, that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
3 prongs: sales, marketing, fulfillment. That's like the loose part of it. Other than that, it's just a made up name that I thought sounded cool.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really cool.
Yeah, we stick with it.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, where we kind of got into it was, I went to uni to do graphic design, did graphic design, worked for a couple of different companies doing graphic design, worked at London doing sort of internships for stuff like Samsung, Xbox, thought it was going to be really exciting, realized, I don't really want to be just this art working monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And in London, it's really dog eat dog. So I went to my family businesses. They run like local bathroom businesses, and was kind of just like dabbling, just throwing money against the wall, just seeing what we could do. They had an old website, redid the website. Oh, let's do some Google ads for the website. Let's do some Facebook ads. And yeah, that's kind of when you dive down the hole of Gary Vee, Ty Lopez, all the digital marketing and stuff. So we grew one of the bathroom e-coms from like 40 to like 150K a month, which is pretty solid. It was like really, really productive. The issue is in the space we were in, the profit margins are like minimal because we're just a retailer. So we're just selling the same products everyone else is. So it's just really price competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned a lot of stuff from my parents' business on what you don't want a business to be like. You don't want it to be, one-time purchases. You don't want it to be low profit. You don't want to be selling something that other people also sell the exact same item of.
Mm-hmm.
So their business was doing well. It wasn't doing anything crazy, but I learned a lot of what I didn't want a business to be like. And then as we started doing marketing and started to go down that rabbit hole, realizing, we can just do this for other people. And it's like, okay, it's recurring. It's higher profit margins. You have a little bit of space freedom. You don't need a warehouse to do it in. And that's kind of where it came about. And I just started doing it for other companies. Did it for a local business. The very first cold call I ever made, I closed as a client, and they're still a client with us today.
wild.
So sick.
Like this was like such bad mindset as I made my first cold call, closed them. They've been paying us $2K a month for the past 3 years. And I never made a cold call again after that one call. I was like, I landed a client. Cool, I'm just going to go do something else now.
That's
I didn't know the
wild.
mindset of just keep doing what was working.
Are you guys running cold calling right now?
No, we're not doing any cold calling now. It's all
Did you
ads.
expect to close them?
No.
Like, did you even have like an offer put together or anything?
No, I just made up complete bullshit as I was putting it together. Like the whole go high level, build out everything, way too much offering.
Did you one call close them, or did you have to like do the proposal?
Oh no, it was about 15 calls, 2-hour calls, breaking it all down. Yeah. But I was like, man, that's weird. Like one cold call, close the client. In hindsight, I should have done that 500 times over. But yeah, you quickly realize what works and what doesn't. And yeah, now we just do paid ads and cold email a little bit.
You guys narrowed down into a very specific niche, which was roofing contractors.
Painting contractors.
Or I'm sorry, painting contractors. What led you to just painting contractors?
Yeah, I mean, our family business is a home improvement, so we naturally went in that direction anyway, just to have a little bit of industry authority that, hey, we have these businesses already. So we worked with bathroom remodelers, kitchen remodelers, roofers, painters, did some flooring, some, what else did we do? Some like fence staining. And it just so happened that like we would consistently get better results for painting companies. We acquired them a little bit easier. They were a little bit easier to get results for. So we thought, okay, rather than just doing everybody, let's just hyper focus on this one niche. So like we don't personally have any experience. I'm not a painter, but we have experience in the home improvement space. And to a certain extent, I think marketing is marketing across lots of businesses.
Sure.
We could probably all start different businesses from a marketing and sales perspective and make it work. So yeah, we were just like, hey, it's working for painters. Let's just solely do that. Makes it easier to position ourselves as the expert. Makes it easier to systematize and kind of copy and paste the results. And we might extend out. I feel like maybe there's an opportunity to extend out, but we're just super hyper focused on that.
Yeah, because you guys have, I mean, as far as like the UK market, that's the majority of who you're working with right now, isn't it?
No, we only have one client in the UK.
Really?
Yeah. And about 60 in the US.
Okay.
Is that the one you called first?
That was the same one called.
Wow.
The first person you called was a painter?
No, he was like a bathroom company.
Yeah.
So why not start in the UK and expand to US? Why did you get good traction in US and why haven't you expanded in the UK?
Oh man, the UK. I'm from the UK, so like I can't hate on it too much. But people from the UK are so pessimistic.
Really?
Like the business, what's the word? The business acumen is like completely different. Like over in the US here, like it's American dream, like growing a business, marketing is a normal thing. In the UK, there's still a lot of people that want to do that, but the trust is like so much lower. They think everything's a scam. Like, oh, you can't really grow your businesses. It's probably the weather. I think the weather gets everybody down. They just don't believe in anything.
Just cloudy all the time.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I get on with a lot of Americans more, and maybe it also helps when we're on sales calls and, oh, it's the bald, fancy sounding British guy, like easier to close people.
Instant 15% conversion boost.
Yeah.
From the accent for sure.
So,
for sure.
Yeah, it just kind of worked that way. Obviously, lots of people grow marketing companies in the UK, but yeah, I just found that's who I kind of vibed with and it worked.
Do you think you'll ever try to go back to the UK?
No.
I'm
trying to move out the UK.
Okay.
I'm trying to go to Dubai. I'm getting everything out.
I love it. So, I mean, if you did have to expand, what would the expansion plan look like?
Yeah, I mean, there's like 150,000 painters in the US or something. So like, there's more than enough market for like, we could probably be doing 1 million a month and still not tap into everybody. Obviously, we're not even aiming to go that high. But if we were to expand, then it'd probably just be Canada.
Okay.
And then maybe we'd go to the UK, but the painting industry isn't the same in the UK. It's not, it's more like handyman. Oh, I'm going to paint your house. There's not like professional painting companies.
Yeah.
So it's
Gotcha.
not very similar.
What about more like vertical integration? So offering more services inside of like just your US market.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we're running into at the moment is, we're getting to the point where we've got a good amount of clients and we're also thinking, what else can we even sell them on? Like, how do we increase that lifetime value? At the moment, it's all Facebook ads, Google My Business growth, and a little bit of websites. Sometimes we'll do websites for people that need it. So I haven't really dialed in exactly what we're going to vertically grow with. Yeah. But yeah, maybe it's some content marketing or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super important, something that we're looking at.
I think something else to consider as well is what we're kind of doing, which is trying to acquire businesses that surround that business. So I'm sure they all need like bookkeepers or something along those lines. Like maybe you could acquire a financial firm and, one that's doing decent and then just niche it into the painting industry.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you guys were talking about. Like, yeah, I think that's super interesting. I think there's one company that specializes in doing bookkeeping for painters. I think they're literally called Bookkeeping for Painters. So
shout out.
Like whether we acquire them or find another company and kind of niche them, like that would be a cool idea. I don't know if it's shiny object syndrome for us at the moment. Like I still feel like we could probably do a couple 100K more a month
for sure
before we need to worry about that. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunities.
Oh.
With that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, there's plenty of TAM left. It's not like you're hitting the ceiling of your entire marketplace.
Yeah, even with SaaS as well, like we could create a CRM for painters and get people in on the low end that way. But yeah, I just don't want to split focus too much and then just do everything at 10% as opposed to just one thing, crush it. Like you see guys doing 500, 600K a month with one offer. Like I know you could do that. You just have to really dial it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the things I want to get into is right now you guys are absolutely killing it. But there was a moment in time where you were actually thinking about shutting down the agency and going a different direction. A, can you talk a little bit about that? And secondly, what was that turning point for you and what changed to completely change the trajectory of your business as a whole?
Yeah, that's funny looking back.
He was almost an employee of Hydra. I mean, technically he was for a minute.
Yeah.
You have to tell that part too, because that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone gets this at some point. And they're just like, oh, fuck this business. They're like, screw this. Like even if it's working, like even stuff was working and we were making good money, it's like, oh, is it worth the stress, the headache, the brain real estate? Is there better other opportunities you'd maybe enjoy more and maybe make the same from? So I think at the time we were working with still a lot of good clients, but a lot of iffy clients. They weren't paying us an awful lot because we weren't charging enough. And then that naturally meant that, oh, if we're not charging that much, we're attracting the wrong sort of clients, which builds the wrong sort of relationships, which then builds the wrong sort of business. And you don't want to be running a business as the wrong sort of business. Right. And I think like now in hindsight, that was so obvious. But back then I was just like, oh, maybe I just don't want to run a marketing agency. So yeah, we obviously had the conversation with you guys of like, hey, well, let's just kind of litmus test. Maybe we just do some closing and see, maybe prefer that. People can make good money closing. Like not everybody wants to run a business. So yeah, I enjoyed doing some closing for you guys for a little bit.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We got one across the line.
Up. Yeah, we got one across the line. And yeah, I think it was interesting to also see how well you guys operate internally. Was also quite cool, which wasn't the intention of it, but seeing how that works was good to see. But yeah, I definitely think it's the.
Always people say that stuff like when they get a little sneak peek on the inside, they're like, "You guys operate so well." I'm like, "Do I feel like it's a shit show?"
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah, I mean the grass is always greener, and I think that's what I realized was like, oh, let me just check out, is the grass greener? And I was like, no, it's not. Like running your own business is definitely,
dude,
at least
so
for me,
hard.
like everyone's a little bit different. And then yeah, we obviously had the conversation of, hey, you've got to double your pricing, having that handshake over, oh, nothing less than X amount. And yeah, now that we've increased our pricing, we're actually closing more clients, closing better clients, having better relationships, and the business is making more money. Oh, and that's literally more enjoyable to do because we're charging more as well.
Do you feel like even mindset wise, you went more all in after you saw what the closing side was like? Because I do feel like there was somewhat of an effort shift too, at least from the outside of like, no, this is for sure what I want to do now.
Yeah.
We're going to grow at all costs.
Yeah, 100%. Because I remember when I was even doing the little bit of closing with you guys, Tridas was still growing pretty strong in the background. And like, that wasn't even full focus. I was like 70% focus or 50% focus. And then I think after when I realized, oh, it can grow when we do the right things, we were maybe just doing the wrong things. Yeah, there was that mindset shift of, all right, fuck everything else. Let's just go all in on this. Like, I don't have to be the most passionate about it, but it's a good vehicle. It's a good opportunity. We're helping people. We're making the right people a ton of money. The wrong people we're not working with, so it's working out. So it makes it a more enjoyable business. It makes it easier to run. And yeah, it's a lot easier to be all in on something when you actually know you want to do it and you're getting the fruits of it as well.
You said starting to make like the right choices or working on the right actions. What were some of those?
So the obvious ones was like increase your price, refine your product offering a little bit, make sure we're a little bit different in the market, not just same Facebook ads over and over.
A little positioning.
So, positioning, yeah. I mean, a lot of the stuff you guys teach and talk about, which is like, it sounds so simple when you say it and so fundamental, but so many people don't do it. Is just like position yourself as the category king, even if you're not. Like, still position yourself as you are the best, because then you can become that. Like, I think it's something that I think Logan Paul says it on his podcast all the time is, hey, welcome to the #1 podcast in the world. But they're not, but they're still manifesting that.
Yep.
And I think that's what positioning as a category king is still like. Other actions, spending more on ads, not being a pussy and spending more on ads.
We're going through that right now.
Spending more on ads, holding the team more accountable, just like showing up more to do more activities. You think you're doing a lot, and then you realize, oh, you could actually do 3 times as much. It's like you probably look at Elon Musk and think, holy crap, how is he doing that much? But then we look at our days and we probably still think we're doing a lot. So understanding what items actually make you money. And for us, it was, I just need to be on sales calls. Like we had a month where I looked at our stats, and I think for every call I got on, it earned the business like $3,000. And I was like, Jesus, okay, so kind of technically every hour of my time that I was on a call was worth $3,000 to the business. I was like, how do I just do more of that? Right. And now we're getting to the point where it's not actually worth that much because I can't always just do this one-to-one growth. And now I have to do one-to-many.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember what it was. Someone said something like doing like one-to-one actions is like selfish, and doing like one-to-many actions is selfless. And you should find as many things in the business you can do that impact more than just the person you're speaking to or the action you're doing. And I think that's something that we're kind of graduating into now. Like we'll look at hiring a closer when we grow a little bit more. And I just want to spend my time marketing material, just marketing assets, because we haven't got enough of that. Everyone's doing free content, lead magnets, all the stuff you guys are doing, right? It's like, I don't have time to build all this. And I know if I did build it, that one marketing asset would produce 100 new opportunities as opposed to me being on just this one sales call.
Yeah.
It impacts on one person.
Yeah. You also mentioned earlier offline that you, over the last 3 months, have a 96% retention rate. What are some of the things that you're doing to have that kind of retention rate? Because as far as lead gen agencies go, that's rare.
Not the norm.
Yeah.
I think it's not even anything to do with, for us, it's not been anything to do with the client relationship. It's been to do with everything up to the point that they become a client. So the positioning, the people we're attracting, the pricing, the sales call, the expectations we're setting on the sales call, so that when they come into it, they already know what they're buying into. They're not buying into something to test it, to see what's happening. We sign 6-month agreements, so that helps a lot, right? We're very big on pushing that. Originally it was month to month, and then it was 3 months, and it was like, well, if you're selling 3 months, why not just sell 6 months? Like most people are still going to say yes. The same as like increasing your pricing. If you charge $2,000 a month, pretty much everyone's going to say yes at $2.5K a month as well. It's not really that different. So I think for us, it's just been obviously getting good results and actually doing what we said we're doing, but making it very clear that for us, we don't want to be one of these like hold your hand, tickle your belly, make you feel good coaching companies. We're like, we just want to do marketing. Like, let us do good marketing. You guys handle your side of it. So those clients are the people we're attracting and actually bringing on, are people that they can do the sales. They don't need sales coaching. They don't need to be taught that you should probably call the lead within 10 minutes. So we're bringing on the right people. When we do good work, then it naturally just works together. And I think that's helped the retention, because we don't have the best client comms, and that's something we're working on. But yeah, if we've got to that point without all this internal stuff, now when we build a client success manager position and build all that out, I think, it's obviously going to increase, not 100%, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one of the things that I see a lot of agency owners do, and I think you might have been in this position as well, is the perceived difficulty of raising your prices or being more selective, things like that. Those are beliefs that we hold in our head, but actually hold no weight in the market. Yeah. And you've kind of just been holding yourself back the whole time. What would you tell an agency owner that is hesitating around the value they provide, raising their prices? They don't think they can charge more in their market. What would you tell them?
I mean, if I was to talk to myself and say it, I'd just say, stop being a pussy. Like, do you want to grow a business? Do you want to make more money? Do you want it to actually work? Then sure, because when you charge more, you're not just making more from that retainer. You're now charging more so you can hire better talent, so you can invest in yourself. Maybe it's investing in your own well-being to make you operate as a better owner, or maybe it's investing in team trips or going to events or going to masterminds. So like, by charging more, you're not just collecting more money from the client and charging more for Facebook ads. You have to put in some sort of margin for how do we reinvest and how do we grow the business. So yeah, I think most people unless they've already went through this exercise, most people can probably double their pricing and nothing in their business would change apart from they'd make twice as much.
Yep.
And it would also get rid of all the crap clients that are probably only going to stay around for a month or two anyway. Definitely. Yeah.
AP, you had something. I can see it.
Yeah, you were talking about growing the team. You said that a big action like that you took was bringing on the right team members. And I know that you still have like a pretty lean team. You know, you guys run lean, and I know that team is like super important to you. The team trips you guys take is really cool. Talk to me about the growth of the team and like how that, ascended and what the org chart looks like nowadays.
Yeah, so at the moment we've got like our core team that's not necessarily like a leadership team, but it's like our core team, and then we have contractors elsewhere. So it's me, it's our operations manager, Leo, that's helping internally.
Yep.
We have a video editor and designer, Valentina. We have an appointment setter, Kurt. And then we also have an executive assistant that's Paula. And then we recently brought on our first customer success manager, which is Maddie. So there's 6 of us, if I counted those right.
And how many clients you guys have?
About 60.
Yeah, I mean, that's good.
Yeah, and then we have like odd contractors to help with the video editing and help with other bits here and there. But yeah, I think something we've been like very like blessed in and grateful on, and like maybe it's intentional, maybe it's unintentional, but I've been quite savage with the hiring, and it's just worked out really well because nobody's ever left, and because we look after everyone well, like everyone is so bought in to the company, and I truly believe that like unless I'm completely wrong, everyone like loves the job, they love how much they're making, they're loving the experience they're able to have with Tridas, like even doing the team trips, like how many companies are able to do a couple team trips a year? Yeah. Right. Like just that alone, our CSM took $1,000 a month pay cut to work with us just for the opportunity of working remote, being in that kind of culture. And I think that's something I've learned from you guys as well. The whole core values, culture building, it's all this kind of woo-woo bullshit stuff that's just like words you say. But as we've built the team, I've realized more and more how these woo-woo words and things you say are actually incredibly important.
Definitely.
Like we're bringing on people that align with each other so they can actually get on, so they have similar interests, similar values. And that's been huge. And like I know some companies will have like a list of 10 different core values. It's like ours are literally routines, ownership, and happiness. Super simple. And they've just worked, and like everyone aligns with them so well. So I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you ever like reflect the core values back on feedback? Like if you have to give like some tough feedback.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I remember that was probably like one of the first videos I think I watched of you probably explain that, because like that stick is even the way you just said it then was probably the exact same
Probably
way that you said it in the video.
It so many times.
Yeah, like I've used that a lot, but like the great thing is like once you use it once or twice, especially when you've got the right team in place, you kind of don't need to use it anymore, because the whole point of having the right team is you don't need to have those conversations. So like it helps a ton when you do. But like we've even got to the place, like I'll be savage with some of the guys. If they send me a question that's Googleable, I will just go into Google, copy and paste that question in, and then just screenshot Google and send it back to them. And it's like, once I've done it once.
Dude, I have the ultimate plug for you. It's called Let Me Google That For You.
Okay.
It takes more time than actually Googling it, but it gets the point across really well. What it does is you type in the question into Let Me Google That For You, just a search bar, and it'll create like a link for you where it types out the entire question for you, for the person you send it to. So they'll click on it and it'll say, let me Google that for you. And it'll type out the whole message on Google, and you send it as like the most sarcastic message you could ever send. It's great.
I love that.
Yeah. So check out that website, because I send it all the time to people.
That's worse than per my last email or
it's great.
like that.
Let me Google that for you.
Well, that's the thing is once you've done it once to someone, I don't think they realize like, okay, I probably don't need to ask him silly questions. And
also the core values too, I feel like people start becoming self-accountable to them, where they almost know when what they're doing isn't aligning with that. And they can almost come to you and be like, yeah, I know this doesn't align with, what we laid out at the company.
Yeah. And that's what we do with our one-on-ones with the team as well, is like at the end, we say, all right, let's kind of rate you based on the core values, like routines out of 10. How do you feel like you've been doing? Ownership out of 10. How do you feel like you've been doing? Happiness out of 10. So like we're keeping a gauge of how people feel like they are doing as well. And then if someone says, oh yeah, 6 out of 10 on routines, okay, why? Like what's wrong with that? What's going on? What can we do to get that to a 10? And we're just getting them to self-reflect a little bit and say, oh, well, if I did this and this, I could get it to a 10. Like ownership, oh, it's a 7. Why is it not a 10? Oh, well, maybe I could take more ownership in doing this, this, and this. And they're like self-reflecting and figuring out how to solve their own problems just through the communication of it as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. How has your leadership changed since like coming back in to the business?
I think I've just been, again, like a little bit more savage with stuff, like not strict or micromanaging, but like, this is what we need to do, let's do it. And yeah, I think, I don't know, at least for me personally, and maybe for a lot of other people, I think leadership and people management is probably one of the hardest skills, I think, to learn, that's like never ending. It's like managing 10 people is different to 50, to different to 100.
Different.
So I think I'm learning that as we grow, all I really need to spend my time doing is leadership, management, how to motivate other people as well. Super important, that I haven't really done enough of. So as the team's growing, I'm realizing that that's kind of like, I'm almost there to be like the cheerleader a little bit, like make sure everyone's going in the right direction. But yeah, I think for me, a lot of leadership has come from just like growing as a person in general, like going through your own experiences. What do they say? Like building character, going through your own things, going through your own trauma, doing this, that, and whatever. I think that helps a lot because you realize what sort of person you want to be. And then by realizing that, you're able to reflect what sort of company you want, the sort of people you want to be around, and how you expect them to be and operate as well.
Yeah. Also on the leadership side, you touched on something earlier where you were saying with marketing, one to many is, high leverage, things like that. And I also find on the leadership side where it's like when you can impact change across a department of people or a group of people, your impact is just that much greater as a leader too. So it's not only like marketing, but leadership also scales in the same way as far as the growth of the company.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, you see, I don't know what the saying is, but they say managers are just like big crying babies. They just say, do this, do that, do that. And it's like, looks like an easier job. But yeah, I can imagine the more people you start to have, like that one team meeting or that one conversation you have, that bleeds across those 30 other people that then go and do their individual tasks. And yeah, I think the leverage is pretty crazy. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
AP, anything additional there? No? Okay. I want to talk about your extravagant team trips for a second. You've been doing a lot of team trips. Well, I guess not a lot, but you've been doing more team trips recently. What was the first one you've done, and what's the best one you've done?
So we've done 2. We did one in November.
Oh, okay. So it's between 2.
Okay. So we did 2. We went to, was it Playa del Carmen in Mexico? That was our first one. Like, side note on that, like, everyone should 100% do team trips if everyone's close, because ever since we did that team trip, we've also been exponentially growing the company. And like, I put that down to everyone is now bought in. It's not this fake kind of thing you see on Zoom where it's like, at least for me, when you talk to people on Zoom, it's real, but it's also not really real. Like, they could be anybody on Zoom. When everybody met in person, like, there was just a different bond, a different connection. Everyone was like going for the same mission. There was so much buy-in. So that was huge. And then the other one we've done was in February, was we went to Medellin, Colombia as well. So I don't know how long we're going to be able to keep it up and do, because as we add more team members, it's going to be more and more expensive. But the goal is to do one every quarter, solely because if we can invest like X amount to do a team trip, how much longer a team member is going to stay with us, how much more bought in are they going to be, how much better are they going to perform. It's almost like an invisible investment to the company. You don't realize what the return is outside of that. But just from doing the first one, I realized that if we spend 15 or 20 grand on a team trip, like, that is going to exponentially grow. Like, even if it means keeping a team member around, and losing a team member costs a shitload. So I want to build a company that, like, I want to work for myself. Like, I want to travel, I want to do stuff. If I can give that to the team as well and reinvest into the team, I think it's just a fun place to be. It's just a better environment.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah.
For those team trips, man, just curious, how did you structure them? Like, how much was like presentation on goals, on next objectives, and then how much of it was like you guys in the cities, having some fun, doing other team things?
Yeah, I think it was like probably 50-50. Like, we made it pretty clear to the team. It's like, hey, like, we're here to have a good time and kind of like meet and do what we want to do. We still need to hit our KPIs and hit our objectives. So it's like, if we need to do stuff little bit earlier in the morning or in the evening, or like some of the guys did stuff on the weekend. As long as everything's moving and everything's getting done that needs to be done, okay, we're just going to take a little bit of extra time off. So like even just going for dinner with the team is such a cool thing. Like even what you guys have got in Nashville together, it's like going out for a dinner with the team. Like you just bond a little bit more. Everyone gets more bought into the mission.
Sure.
So yeah, we did little excursions and little stuff like that. But I think some of the best, most important moments were just chilling in the villa, just like talking.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we did a few presentations like future pacing goals, what everyone needs to do, that kind of like cheerleader, motivational type stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that helped. But I think the main thing is less about trying to do like presentations and more of like, let's just give everyone a good time. This is what we're here for. Like we've been growing. Like everyone should experience the growth for themselves and not just be like an employee under the company that doesn't get the fruits of the labor.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Love that. All right, I've got a final question. I ask all of my. You need to answer this too because I didn't ask you on the last one. Your morning routine, because I want to be able to show people on this podcast just so much of the differentiation between everyone's morning routines. Like we had Nick Terrio on, and Nick Terrio's morning routine. He was like, "Yeah, I wake up at like 8 a.m. every morning." And he's like, I don't have calls until 1. I don't take any calls until after 1.
Yeah.
And so it was so different than what I was used to. But I'm just curious.
Well, that's weird. Maybe Nick sounds similar to mine because like when I'm in the UK, obviously I'm working US time. So my calls will start from 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. or until I finish. So yeah, I feel like I have the longest morning routine in history because I'll get up at like 8 or 9 and I'm just sort of like flopping around for 5 hours until like work starts. But most of the time, like I'll just get up, have breakfast, hit the gym, come back. If it's lucky enough to have some sun in the UK, I'll go for a walk or just go in the garden and like ground and just stand in the sun for a little bit. And then most of the time it's just that's my evening wind down is in the morning. So watching some content, watching some podcasts, kind of just prepping for the day, seeing if there's any admin stuff I need to do beforehand. And then, it's just calls, 10-minute dinner in between calls, and then more calls until 11 p.m.
That's crazy.
Yeah, none of this meditation, red light therapy, hang from your toes on the ceiling type stuff.
Are you a caffeine guy in the morning?
No.
No. You just go dry into the day?
Yeah. I'm just like a super clean, like boring person. Like I drink water, I eat steak, chicken, rice, and potatoes. Like very simple, very easy.
You start hanging out with us long enough, we'll put some meat on the bones, and we'll get you addicted to nicotine and caffeine in no time.
That's hilarious.
What about you, Kirch? We gotta get the morning download.
Yeah, on my side, usually up around 6:30. Oftentimes I'll call Adam, not every day, but I give Adam a shout on the way to Starbucks. But Starbucks is a priority in the mornings.
What's the drink?
Get a Grande Nitro cold brew. It's got about 400 milligrams of caffeine.
That sounds like it would kill you.
And
it could. It sounds like.
I drink that in about 20 minutes. And then I sit down, do a little bit of gratitude, and then plan the day for 10 minutes. So like the whole morning routine maybe takes 30 minutes all in from when I get up and get straight to it. I don't waste a lot of time.
AP, you're here. You might as well throw the morning routine in, bro.
Yeah, I said it on the with John. Shout out to John who wakes up at 10 a.m. by the way. But
weenie.
My morning routine usually starts very similar, 6, maybe sometimes 7, sleeping a little bit. But I usually wake up, take a shower, I'll pray usually, go get some coffee, and I get back and just jump on the computer, man. It again takes
just a roll.
Yeah, maybe 30, 40 minutes. Out of bed, at the desk, and then cranking, man. So.
Boom. There we go. Cool. Ryan, thanks for coming on, man. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Plug socials real quick. Where do you want people to find you?
Follow me? I don't want people to find me. I want to be anonymous.
No. You're building that personal brand right now. There's big plays to be had in the future.
So Ryan J. Stacey, so RyanJStacey on Instagram. That's probably the best place.
Yeah.
Don't know if I can help you, but you can follow me. We can chat. I don't know what you want from me.
Dude, if you're a painter, you've got great business sense. I will say that. So you could probably help in more ways than you think.
I appreciate it. Well, I'm learning a lot from you guys. You guys have helped a lot. So plug for Hydra as well.
Let's go, dude. All right, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
See ya.